What's happening, connoisseurs? It's Rod with Pow Group. Welcome back on The Pursuit of Wealth, your home for MJ stocks, crypto assets, news, and interviews. Today is Saturday, May 17th. Hope you're having a great weekend. And in this video, we're going to do another rapid-fire news update. This time it's going to be for the period May 10th to the 16th. And again, it's not a deep dive detail. It's just a high-level overview in case you missed it. Before we get to it, make sure to smash the like. Help support me in the channel. If you're new, you can subscribe. Tick the bell. You'll be notified on when I post these videos every single week and anytime I post new content. And as always, not financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. You can follow us over on X as well, formerly Twitter. Handle for that is @GroupPow. Going to be using that as my platform of choice going forward. So we'll jump right into the news. There was a lot to cover this week. And again, I go through and I cherry pick all the main topics, and there's always a lot. It never ceases to amaze me how much really is going on behind the scenes. But Organigram, their Q2 was better than expected. And that was for the fiscal 2025 Q2. They had their first quarter of motif on their books, so it first full quarter. So it was overall a great report. If you haven't seen my video, I posted an earnings review video as well. You can check that out for the full breakdown and my thoughts and opinions. Also, Curaleaf International partners with Jupiter Research, secures EU medical device certification for Europe's first handheld liquid inhalation device. So you can see this is going to be an absolute powerhouse of a company as well. And the EU, that's going to be the market to be in over the next couple of years. And really, Curaleaf's one of the only ones, if not the only one, as far as I'm aware, in the US that's really capitalized on that global footprint. All of the LPs are really dominating that market, and Curaleaf's the only MSO. So I'm very bullish on Curaleaf long term as well. Study finds that hemp seed oil may help speed wound healing. I never knew that, but I wouldn't be surprised. It's medicine of the future, and now we know why big pharma and big alcohol, big tobacco all hate it. Is because it's literally a miracle plant. Also, Village Farms International announced transformative transaction to privatize its fresh produce business, and that's going to be a deal and joint venture with Vanguard Food LP. The deal includes $40 million in cash and proceeds, and 37.9% equity ownership, which they were in dire straits. They needed this badly. I think they only had like 15 million cash on the books at the end of the quarter, and just going to be focusing on their MJ business. So that was a great move on their part. Stock was absolutely flying as a result. And I've always been saying that I didn't really like Village Farms. The reason why I didn't have a big position is because I wasn't sold on their business model, the whole vegetable aspect. But now that they're kind of divesting that, getting it completely removed and privatizing it, I'm getting more bullish on VFF. So I'm going to be looking to increase my position on that as well. But again, not financial advice. Don't buy or sell anything based on anything that I say. AWH announced first quarter 2025 financial results. So they had net revenue of 128 million and adjusted EBITDA of 27 million. If you haven't seen that, you can check it out. Trump also taps MJ Company board member as federal prosecutor. So we scroll down here. Jeanine Pirro, President Donald Trump's new nominee for acting U.S. Attorney for District of Columbia, joined the board of a CBD company in contrast to her predecessor in the role, who sent a threat letter to a locally licensed medical MJ dispensary. So interesting times ahead. We'll see Terrence Cole. There's some information coming a little bit later on as well. Just kind of dodges the questions with regards to MJ, and not surprising, right? They know the whole industry is being held back, and once they're ready to unleash the shackles again, once big tech, crypto, AI tops out, I'm very confident that MJ is going to be front and center in the spotlight over the next couple of years. Once that rotational play happens. MSO TerraSend acquires MJ stores in Ohio and New Jersey as they continue their rollout and increasing their footprint in the U.S. Glasshouse Brands also reported first quarter 2025 results. They had a strong Q1, revenue of 44.8 million, up 49% year over year. So I know a lot of people are bullish on this company. I personally don't own any, but might look to start a position on this one. Let me know in the comment section below if that's something you think I should do. I'm not super familiar with the company, but I've been hearing lots of great things, and the quality of their products. That's something that always, I always want to be looking at different companies, and I want people to tell me, like, are the products actually good? That's something that we don't hear a whole lot in this industry, right? People just buy companies and they have no idea what their products are like. They've never tried them. It's just kind of silly when you think about it. Like, there's so many people in Canada that buy the U.S. companies, but they have no idea what the products are like. And then same thing, vice versa. There's a lot of Americans who buy the Canadian LPs, but they have never tried their products. It's just a weird industry. I like just imagine Warren Buffett investing in a company and not trying their products. It's kind of funny when you think about it. But Pennsylvania Senate rejects adult use MJ bill with state-run retail. So yeah, there was some lack of coordination there. We'll see what happens here, but I'm pretty confident that Pennsylvania is going to become the next state, the 25th state to legalize it recreationally. This is an exciting update as well. Tilray Brands announces the launch of XMG Atomic Sours, new psychoactive component beverages and edibles. So nostalgic sour flavors meet cutting-edge MJ innovation. So this is going to be the cherry blasted lime, very berry rocket, and then foggy peaches and cherry blasted lime drink as well. So this look fantastic. Really playing off that XMG brand, which I think is very smart. That's probably one of the top brands, if not the top brand in Canada at the moment, especially for beverages. And the fact that they're bringing this over to the edibles, I think that's a smart move as well, because there's not a whole lot. They don't really have any edibles that I'm really aware of. They have some of the chocolates and whatnot, but I think this was a smart move. And even in my interview with Irwin Simon, the CEO, I asked him if they were looking to get into hemp gummies in the U.S., and he said yes. So we might even see something similar playing off that brand in the U.S. Also, Truly branded dispensary to open in Lorain, Ohio. I think that's how you pronounce it. Charlotte's Web reported year-over-year growth for Q1 2025. If you haven't seen that, you can check it out. MetaPharm Labs also announced strong Q1 2025 results. So we're starting to see really Canadian MJ start to turn a page. Also, this is an interesting update. GTA 6, so Grand Theft Auto, it's been delayed until May 2026. But it will allow players to run medical MJ dispensaries engage in black market drug sales. So according to a source who contacted us directly, the long-awaited Grand Theft Auto 6 will include gameplay that allows users to operate medical MJ dispensaries across the in-game map. So tell me MJ is going mainstream without telling me MJ is going mainstream, right? Like this is huge. I can't wait for this game too. It's going to be absolutely dope. It sucks that we have to wait another year. It's supposed to be September, and yeah, we got to wait a whole year, but anticipation is growing. Also, Trump's DEA pick, that's what I was referring to earlier. Terrence Cole refuses to detail MJ rescheduling stance in response to senators' questions. So again, just dodging the bullet. Again, I don't think it matters. It doesn't matter what one or two people think. It's going to be a top-down approach. And we already know that he supported MJ legalization in Florida, Amendment 3. We know he supports rescheduling and banking, and he loves everything that he's seen on the medical side. So it's going to be coming from the top down, folks. You don't need to be worrying about one person here and there. I think we're in good hands. Also, CV Sciences Inc. reported their first quarter 2025 results. If you haven't seen that, you can dive into it. Planet 13, Q1 2025 financial results. They had revenue of $28 million, net loss of $2 million, adjusted EBITDA loss of $2.5 million. So nothing really to call home about there, but this is a company that a lot of people used to talk about, and I haven't really been hearing much about them lately. I personally don't own any. Again, it's such a niche market. I just not really 100% sold on that business model either. Curaleaf International launches a range of medical MJ products in Australia. So as you can see, Curaleaf is very, very similar to a Canadian LP, right? They are actually a Canadian LP. They bought Northern Green Canada, so they operate in the U.S. So Curaleaf has more. It operates in more states in the U.S. than any other company. And then they also operate in Canada, and they also operate in the EU and Australia and tons of countries. So, you have to think about this for a second. Why is that the only company in the U.S. doing that? And if you look under the hood at their financials, it resembles very much a Canadian LP. They're struggling with profitability, but they have to pay a lot of money in capex, right? It's not easy to expand to multiple countries. And in my opinion, like these other MSOs, they're only operating in like a dozen states. Like they still have to grow in the states. Curaleaf's well ahead of the competition in the U.S. and then in Canada and abroad. So I think there's going to be some tough times ahead for a lot of these MJ companies in the U.S. because they're going to have to dip into their cash reserves, might have to dilute stock if they're going to have to expand. But once they're, when you're profitable and you have money, you can expand and, you don't have to dilute, etc. But, things are getting expensive now and it's limited licensing. It's A lot of competition, price compression. Like I've been saying for multiple years now, there's no way in hell that $200, $300 ounces is going to be a thing for much longer in the US. Like that's just not going to sustain itself. And like I said, there's going to be a tough time ahead. And a lot of these MSOs have monopolies, and that's not going to be the case for much longer. You're already seeing, there's an article that referenced Canopy Growth as an MSO now, right? Because they have Canopy USA. So now the LPs, and then there's, Organogram, Tilray selling hemp beverages in the US. There's going to be a lot of competition, folks. And in my opinion, the LPs are where it's at over the next few years. Not to say there won't be winners and losers, but I really hope people learn the mistakes that we learned in Canada, because a lot of it's going to be coming and already is showing in the US, right? All of the same growing pains, no pun intended. Avocana reported their Q1 2025 results and first profitable quarter. Another company I'm very bullish on, medical company. Also, DEA partners with this is interesting. This is your friendly neighborhood Drug Enforcement Administration, everybody. They partnered with an anti-MJ group to spread memes claiming MJ is linked to suicide, depression, and low sperm count. That's literally the opposite of what the data and science shows. So I have no idea where they're getting this information from, but this is why we can't have nice things, folks. Also, Oxy reported their 2025 first quarter results. Overall, fantastic report. If you haven't seen that, check it out. But they had gross margin and finished MJ inventory sold of 48%, an increase of 1,000 basis points, or 26% compared to the same period in 2024. Again, I posted a video on that, did a full breakdown and review. If you haven't seen it, you can check it out. IMMJ reported their first quarter financial results. You can dive into that. Also, not so great news. American basketball player arrested in Indonesia for MJ candies and faces possible death penalty. So again, folks, next time you're wondering why this industry is struggling so much, there's still countries around the world that enforce the death penalty. And in fact, there was actually an article here from MJ Herald, countries where you can still be executed for MJ. There's a lot of them. You got China, Iran, Saudi Arabia, Singapore. And Seth Rogen said, I love going to Singapore, but wouldn't smoke weed there, they'll effing kill you. Like, this is the cold hard truth about all this. Malaysia, Indonesia, Vietnam, Kuwait, State of Palestine, Gaza, North Korea, Iraq, and then legally retained but not recently enforced, and there's a ton there. So, like, we have a long way to go, folks. We're still not even legal in the U.S., the biggest economy and capital market in the world. So, in terms of growth, where this industry is going, in terms of its growth curve, we're probably like 5% of the way into this thing, right? Like, there's still 95% of the growth yet. Like, this is like the internet in like the 80s. You know what I mean? Like, this is not even close. And like, you could say that the internet really boomed in, around 2010. Like, even in the early 2000s, it wasn't critical mass, right? So I would say there's still 95% of the growth ahead of us. And I know what it's like. People are just, they want everything to happen yesterday or tomorrow, right? They don't want to be, it's very hard to remain patient. I get it. It's been a brutal bear market, but as Warren Buffett always says, the stock market is a mechanism from transferring wealth from the impatient to the patient. And you just have to look at this stuff, right? We're so early to this, it's not even funny. We're not even in the first inning, folks. We're just starting the pregame warm-ups. That's the best comparison I can use for this, because the fact that people are still dying just for simple possession being executed, the death penalty, this has to stop, right? But it's been hundreds of years of lies. South Korea moves to expand insurance coverage for medical MJ treatment, kind of the opposite of North Korea, where I just mentioned they will effing kill you, to quote Seth Rogen. Oh, it's so terrible. Rubicon Organics is set to report their Q1 2025 results, and that's going to be Tuesday, May 27th, after market close. I know a lot of people are very interested in this name. They just started their international sales, so I'll be focusing on that because that's been a big driver of growth for a lot of these companies recently and a lot of these earnings reports. So I'm going to be really honing in on that international aspect. I'll be interested to see the numbers there. But, I don't know. A lot of people ask me if this is a company worth owning. I would say maybe, a couple % of your MJ portfolio is what I would do. I don't own any yet, but if I were to, I might start to load up once I take some crypto profits and rotate into more MJ. And I'm not going to rotate all my crypto profits. People have been asking me that too. They're like, you're going to do all of your profits? No. like 10 or 20% of those profits. But yeah, I'm pretty much done adding my own money. I'll add more house money into MJ eventually. But the reason why I don't really like organic is just because I don't really think people care enough. Maybe when it comes to food, but even when you go to the grocery store, right? Like I don't see like, I mean, it's getting more popular, but when it comes to MJ, people are people are lighting things on fire and inhaling it. I don't think they're really worried about the health aspect too much. Like maybe like 1 or 2% of consumers care if it's organic, I would say. I don't know. I haven't really looked into the numbers recently or looked at very much data to support that. But just from my own experience in the store, never heard anybody ask for an organic product. I've never heard any bud tender talk about an organic product to anyone or pitch anything. None of my friends or anybody on any of my videos say that that's something that they have to have. So I don't know. We'll see what happens, but it's kind of that niche market, so that's why I would only allocate maybe a few percentage of my MJ portfolio to it. Also, Curaleaf celebrates new dispensary opening in Lima, Ohio. And we have Cannabis Growth set to report fourth quarter and fiscal year 2025 financial results on May 30th, 2025. So that'll be before financial markets open on May 30th. And again, it'll be really honing in on the international sales. I'm going to be interested to see that. And then also some of the Wanderous, the hemp products in the U.S. And we'll see if we get any insight into Canopy USA numbers and financials. Also, Jones Soda reports first quarter 2025 results. You might be wondering, why am I talking about this? Well, first thing mentioned is MJ. So revenue was 4.6 compared to 5 million. The company also generated 0.4 million in revenue from the MJ segment, consisted with approximately 0.4 million in the first quarter of 2024. So as you can see, this is becoming a MJ company, really, not just a soda company. Because, that's the first thing mentioned there. And we know they have a partnership with Tilray to bring Mary Jones to Ontario and BC to start. And Irwin Simon said that partnership has been going great and sales have been going great. I asked if this is a potential buyout target for Tilray, and we got no comment. So I'm still thinking that there might be something in the works there at some point. Also, love to see this. Ron DeClown. This guy was just born a clown. And also graduated with honors from clown school, in case you didn't know. But members of Congress want federal investigation. It's about time into the use of Florida Medicaid funds to oppose MJ legalization by a group tied to this clown here, Ron DeClown. So I hope that this happens, and I hope that they uncover all that they need to oust this clown. And we were talking about this in the Power Group private community. I believe he's only in office until 2026, so it might not be too much longer that we have to deal with this nonsense and this absolute clown. And hopefully we can get somebody more progressive and somebody that kind of focuses on the common sense side of things, which something that we lack. Common sense not so commonly practiced these days, it seems. It's unfortunate, but I have confidence in the human race. Going in it there, though, it's Rod with Power Group. Thanks again for joining us on the Pursuit of Wealth. Let me know what you think of this news in the comment section, and we'll continue the conversation there. It was a long one here today. Try to keep these around 15 minutes, but like I said, you really understand after doing these videos or even watching these videos how much actually happens in the run of a week. And I'm just going through some of the, I'm cherry picking. Like, there's so much information that happens in this industry in the run of a week. And I'm very confident that we're going to see an absolute sea change, and the next couple of years are going to be nothing short of amazing. All right, have a great weekend, and we'll see you on the next video.